Greetings from Spark. I am Barnabas Tiburcius. I am the mentor of this initiative. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Living Spark. In today's podcast, I plan to do an explanation of an article from a book, Self-Empowering Wisdom, Volume 1. This particular article is very topical in as to what is happening in the world today. The title of this article is Called Out of Bondage. In the recent past, we have witnessed quite an uproar and arising out of the social consciousness against the atrocities that are committed against certain segment of society. The Black Lives Matter movement, liberation of people in Hong Kong, and in the recent past, the genocide in Myanmar, as well as the human suffering due to the war in Yemen and Syria. This cannot have a political solution. The only way that we can avoid conflict, distinctions, and segmentation of society, fracturing of society, is only through uplifting every individual's consciousness to a new level, from the political leaders to every common man. I take 3 stories from sacred scriptures to give you an example of what is transformation. The first story is the story of the Exodus, in which Moses liberates the people from the slavery of Egypt into a promised land. This is not a straightforward process. There is a lengthy process involved, and God instructs Moses that every family should prepare a Passover feast, wherein a sacrificial lamb has to be prepared. A lamb which is less than 1 year old, without any blemish, and should be nourished by the family for 14 days. This is the preparation. The sacrificial lamb represents every individual. So we go through a period of purification before our self is made holy. Sacrifice means to make holy. It has got a Latin root. Blood of the lamb is smeared on the doorpost so that the people of Israel can be demarked from the others who are still in darkness, in spiritual darkness. Then they have to consume the flesh without any waste. This is to give them the physical and spiritual nourishment to face a long and arduous journey through the desert into the promised land. This is the travel through the darkness before they come into light. This same sacrificial lamb archetype is mapped onto Christ in his life, where he sacrificed on the cross for the salvation of the human race. Basically, there are 2 misunderstandings. One is a universal salvation just by the act of Christ on the cross dying. And the second one was a disappointment among the Jews that he was not a Messiah, the liberator from the Roman suppression. What happens after Jesus' death is very important. After 3 days in the tomb, he resurrects. But the process of resurrection is narrated as he went down into hell and came back. The meaning of this is, unless you conquer darkness, you can't become a liberator or a truly spiritual person. So even Christ is subjected to this particular process, so that every one of us could understand what is involved. That is why the apostles, who are still very much in the material realm, when they visit the tomb, they say the body is not there. For them, Christ was all, nothing else but the body. Mary Magdalene, who had a slightly higher insight, sees Jesus in the garden and tries to hold on to him, but Jesus says, Mary, do not hold me, for I am not yet whole. The spiritual manifestation or spiritual transformation is a process that takes place in various stages. This transformation ultimately leads to transcendence, to the highest level of consciousness. The third narrative is the narrative of Nachiketa, whose father, wanting to become a sannyas, offering all his wealth to the people, but Nachiketa, being a very observant boy, he sees that his father is offering all old things, sickly cows, and so he asks his father, will you also offer me? To which unwittingly his father says, yes, I will do it. And so he is sent down to Yama. But Yama is not there for 3 days. And so he has to wait at the gate of the kingdom of Yama, which is the underworld. And then Yama comes and then apologizes, saying that I'm very sorry for holding you up for 3 days, but having been here, I will grant you 3 boons. The first boon is very important from our perspective today in this talk. Yama says, ask me 3 boons. And Nachiketa says, first, when I go back, let my father recognize me without animosity. If Nachiketa goes back in his original body or original form, there will be no problem for his father to recognize him. He will only be too glad. There will be no animosity because his father knows he has made a mistake. But every transformation involves a new manifestation. So this new manifestation will not be seen by ordinary people. So also you see that in the case of Jesus, he is not recognized by many people, including the apostles, till he explicitly tells them. These are the themes which I have narrated, along with a number of quotes from Joseph Campbell, Carl Jung, the Bible, and Kathopanishad. Read the full article in my book and support me by buying the book. And thank you for watching and listening.